Hello and welcome back to my vlog, Life After Cancer, episode 7, and as you can tell, I'm in Birmingham. Look at the beautiful Birmingham. No, I'm joking guys, I'm in Krakow, I'm in Poland. For years and years, I've always wanted to come see Auschwitz Birkenau, and after watching Schindler's List, I decided, you know what, my next destination, let's come to Poland, let's go Krakow. It's been a long journey. I'm in the main square currently in Krakow, so I'll give you a little pan round guys. Look at this, it is quite beautiful. Don't know who the statue is yet, show you later. Gorgeous building there. And then come around here, we've got this really big church. I don't know anything about Krakow, of course. I do my usual. The only thing I've booked is the Auschwitz tour tomorrow. Otherwise, I know nothing. That's the plan really today, is go and find stuff to do on my own, walk around and see what's interesting. I think it's only a small city really, but it's supposed to be an incredible city. I've heard from my sister and other friends who have been to Krakow that it is supposed to be incredible. I'm gonna go get a coffee to go kill some time, but to wake me up because I'm exhausted, I'm a little bit hungry, and I'm body clock so out of sync. Before we know it, that's not what I was gonna say, but what do I usually say in my videos? I don't know. Welcome to Krakow, the second biggest city in Poland, and of course the home about an hour away of Auschwitz Birkenau, where I think it was about 1.2 million Jews died, and sad as that is, I'm looking forward to visiting it. So let's get into it. So I managed to find a place to go get some coffee, tipping down with rain up there, which is actually really a shame because even getting the train in and flying in, it just makes the whole city, when I saw it from above and coming in, like, you know what it's like when the weather's dull, it makes everything look quite dull and sad, and I'm sure the square is quite busy still, but I'm sure it gets busier. Still only, what, 11:30 Polish time, so it's probably a bit different, but definitely dampens the mood a little bit. I chose one of the places around this main square that I'm in, and of course it means it's super expensive, so I've just paid €4.50 for the coffee, like £4. I've just had a sip. That's not even the nicest. It's just, they also made it with machine, but it's also just not the best coffee. I bought these Uniqlo tops and I do really like them, but with me being pasty white, my hair's a bit of a mess because it's been wet and sleeping on the plane and washing it this morning and then put my stuff in. It's all been a mare, but no, I don't know. I look at this and just, I hate the look of myself sometimes. I'm in an era at the moment where I'm not liking the look of myself, and then when I got this Uniqlo top on, which I do like, I'm just a little bit I don't know, and I'm very pasty white as well. Got a big head. I'm picking out all my insecurities now. I'll stop. You want to see more of Krakow and what I get up to and the fun I have. Let's say I've just walked in through the front door, because the door's here, and we'll show you the tour, and it is lovely, to be fair. I'm amazed. I'll tell you the price afterwards, how much it costs and the location of it compared to Krakow, and you're going to be surprised. But look, you walk in here and as you can see straight away, you see the kitchen, but we're going to make a little bee dive to the bathroom. And the bathroom is also being put here for the apartments, but what a bathroom it is. You've got the toilet, of course. I believe this is like a washing machine. Decently sized, like actually big shower, which I'm like well happy for. Everyone loves a big shower, it means you can just sit there for ages. Not that I like to waste water. There's me in the mirror, looking sexy, you know. But you know, I'm well happy with this bathroom. Very nice, very nice. I'm happy with the whole place actually. Let's come through here, close that door and turn the light off because we like to save electricity around here. But you come in here and look at this, a whole kitchen. And like not just a tiny one that's crammed in, like a whole kitchen. I haven't even looked at what's in the cupboards, but fully stocked. Come around here, table, 4 chairs, amazing. TV, skylight, and I've just seen a pole that you can make it open up so you get lots of light in here. Little window there, looking out onto the main street. This is obviously a sofa, but I'm pretty sure it turns into a sofa bed. Then you come into the main suite where the magic happens. Yeah, it doesn't really happen with me. Like, not at all really. Yeah, rough times. But let's get back to the tour. But you come where the magic happens, and you've got a double bed, all the bedding you need. Phenomenal, I can't believe. I knew it was a nice room when I booked it, but wow, compared to how much I've paid for places before, compared to this, shocking. But you're probably wondering what's the price and what it is. This is the map of Krakow. This here is the centre where I did my intro, the cathedral, the Hard Rock, the main square. I am just up this road, Florida, just about here. So bang in the centre, walking distance for everything. And I've paid £42 a night, which for one person may seem a lot, and it is a little bit. Maybe I paid £84 for 2 nights. But you could easily, if you came here with friends, or your missus, or someone, whoever it could be, 2 other people, it means it's £40 for 2 nights. 3 people, you could easily get in here. 4 people, I mean, you're like so cheap. You're looking at 20 quid each, and that's 4 of you. For this, in the bang in the centre, I can't believe the price and how nice it is. This is somewhere like, you could live here. Like, I know you could live a lot of places, but you could genuinely like live here. It's phenomenal. And look, they've even got aircon. Not that I need it because it's cold out, but aircon. Oh, I'm amazed. I had a nap. I had to. Half an hour, then I was like, I need about half an hour. So I had about an hour nap, which is good, but it's now time to go out. I feel like it's late, but it's not even late. I'm gonna head to the museum that's underground at the main square. I made it into the museum, 32 zloty, and I think when I went on the car machine, I always pay in zloty, but it came out, it said about £7, so about £6, £7 this is, which is really good price, probably about £6 overall, I think. And I'm not 100% sure what it is, but this is the map, interactive map of the place I'm gonna show you. I'm just trying to work out where we are right now. But this is it. We're here, I believe. I got this whole thing. I think it's just going to be explaining the whole of Krakow, or the history up to a certain point. Just come out of the museum, and I was prepared to come out here and tell you it's useless, and this is why you never pay to go to museums. You know, I'm a big fan of all the free stuff, going to cathedrals, churches, museums that are free, especially when you're in London, it's a good one, but even in Italy, a lot of them were free. And I was going to absolutely slate it because you go down there, and it's just, you're walking around and you're looking at all this soil. You go into this other room, and then there's 5 different TV programs, I'd say, telling you from the history from the 9th century when it was sort of founded, the first history of Krakow was founded, up until modern day now, up until the German occupation, Nazi occupation, and that was very interesting. Those documentaries themselves taught me everything about the city that I need to know, and actually puts me in really good stead now just to be able to walk around myself and go and enjoy it. So I was really impressed with that. So as much as I don't like paying for things to do, if you do come to Krakow, I think it's worth at least going down there and watching those 5 documentaries 100%. I never knew how important a city it was, to be honest. I never really knew too much about Poland itself, but especially Krakow and how important Krakow is, and the history of Krakow, and how it's a centre of universities and science and economics and all this place throughout the history through 1,000 years plus. So very fascinating, and I'd definitely say it's worth a visit so far. Is the market square itself that we're in, and this is this bit. The museum I was in that was underground was discovered early 2000s, and it was all hidden. Like I said, you got 1,000 years of sediment built up, and you originally used to be, I think it was a graveyard, a cemetery they call it, and then the rest of it just sort of followed with history around the whole of the city coming up. This is again, it's like Mother of God, so like Mary of God's church, that one there, and it's has a very famous carving in it, vine stoss of this altar made out of wood that took 12 years to make, got taken away by the Germans and brought back and restored and things. And that's just a little bit of the history here. This tower here, not too sure what it's called, but it's leaning by 55 centimetres to the side. So you get all these cool facts that you learn and stuff, and it's just amazing. It's boring for me just to sit here and tell you for sure, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it's just boring for me to regurgitate facts, but there's a few really cool, interesting facts in there. Like I said, it's more, I'm amazed, not just by individual facts, I'm more amazed by the whole part of it, how important Krakow is, and how it used to be. I didn't even know it used to be the capital of Poland. Who knew that? Write down in the comments if you knew that, because I did not know that. I've just received the news that my tour to Auschwitz tomorrow has been cancelled, and there's nothing I can do about it, because I really wanted to go. It's something I was really looking forward to. It's the whole reason I came to Krakow. So instead of being upset and being down, I'm going to find a way to get onto another tour or book tour myself as such and just go to Auschwitz tomorrow and find a way to get there. Because that's one reason I really wanted to come here. It was amazing. I'm walking down the street and I've got the camera out and I'm talking to you. And this is the one fear that you always have is people looking at you and judging you. And they do for like a second, which is incredible. And you can see them, like, I look away a little bit from the camera lens and so I'm looking at people, looking where I'm going. And people look at you for a second, but then they just get on with the day and they move on as if nothing happened. And it really comes down to this thing that no one actually cares at the end of it. But this is me just trying to lighten the mood because at the moment I'm not going to Auschwitz, which I really wanted to go to. As sad as it is and as eerie and depressing as it is, that place, it's important, it's the reason I came here. So I'm just trying to pick my mood up so I don't get upset, because shit happens in life. You've got to pick yourself up and go again and find a way to get it done. That's what I'm going to go do. I don't know how, but let's go find a way before I cry. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. It's just got really busy, so you can't see. But I was going on about buying these cakes earlier. That they have all these random shops. I've just come, this is what it looks like. All these different flavours. Oh, we've got an Nutella one. I went for a Kinder Bueno one.
Sorry?
I didn't realise I got so I went straight for the Kinder Bueno without realising.
Really nice.
Have you had one before?
I've been back twice to get pistachio.
I can't believe how cheap they are as well compared to what, 8.50 zloty, what, £1.50.
About £10.
I'm not going to say I used to work in a bakery and it used to be nice pastries, but God, you'd pay a fortune for it compared to this. Yeah, isn't it? Everything's better, really, isn't it? In the UK, you can't expect it. But no, enjoy, guys. See you in a bit. Oh, just making friends that everyone agrees everywhere's better than the UK. But no, just show you that. Did you heard? It's like £1.50, if that. A little bit more actually, about £1.50 for a Kinder Bueno, huge pastry. You assume in the window. I missed the Nutella one. I'm gonna go back and do it. I thought I'd show you. Here's my food review. As you can see, Kinder Bueno. Let's see. Let's take a bite. Oh wow. I recognise the taste. There's a donut taste on the outside. I don't know if you can see, but in there is all the Kinder Bueno. Do you know what I'm amazed? It's still warm. Best thing I've had here so far. Of all the old towns I've walked around in cities, especially one similar to this, so far this is the nicest. It's a shame the weather. On the documentary you watch, you see the weather, and the weather's beautiful, like amazing, and it looks stunning. But out of, like, if I go compared it to like Verona or Bologna, the two I'm looking at, this one's definitely the nicest. Most character, I'd say, to it. I'm doing casting couch. Not that I know what casting couch is if anyone asks. Don't ask. Check out my OnlyFans. Feels bad to be making a joke when I'm talking about this. I think I've solved it. I've come up with a plan. I've got it done. I went on the official Auschwitz website, and this was a plan I sort of had the other day that I was going to do. And you can book. A lot of people say you can go for free, but I really didn't want to risk going all that way, an hour and a half on the bus, having to wait for an hour to get back, and an hour and a half back. I don't want to have to sort of wait 4 hours and maybe still not get in to possibly get a free tour or go in on your own. I went on the Auschwitz website, and you can book tours. And that's what I was going to do. There was just none in English, and there's still none in English for tomorrow. However, I booked one at 9 o'clock in Polish. A guided tour, a study guided tour. No idea what it means. It's a really, one thing I'll say, that website, the Auschwitz website, awful. You'd think a company or a memorial like this, and a museum that is so big and has millions of visitors each year would have a website that just works properly, that's easy to understand and make sense. A lot of what I've read is that I could have shown up and just got in and walked in, but like I said, I didn't want to go all that way and not get in, and then or have to wait until midday to get in and things. So I thought, you know, let's just book it. I'll go on a Polish guided tour. I'm not too fussed. If I don't understand a thing, I don't understand a thing. At least I get into Auschwitz, and at the end of the day, it's cheaper than having to come back to Krakow and book somewhere. And I thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to get an English guided tour. Again, I'm not too fussed about the guided tour. I'm quite fortunate. I've done a lot of research in Auschwitz before. That's why I'm so interested in it, and the Holocaust and World War and the Nazi occupation. Of course, there's small things I'd like to know, always is, but hey ho, the way the cookie crumbles. And we've got to make do of what we have. So at least I'm going to head over there tomorrow. Just can't believe it's a Polish. I understand like a sore thumb. They're going to be talking to me. I'll be like, I don't even know a Polish word. I'm going to say a Polish word. I'm going to say grazie or hola. That's Spanish. Bonjour. I pretend to be French. I just had to. I wonder if I get all the way there and be like, you can't come on because you're not Polish. They can't do that, surely. I don't know. I'm now in Kazimir, however you say it. I thought I'd go on a little walk around the Jewish sector and just around the area and just sort of see what it's like. Go look at some of the synagogues. This is already cemetery and this is the Star of David. You can't really see it, but there's the star. And I assume this is, to the left of me, is one of the synagogue cemeteries. I'm sure there's a lot of these gravestones are most likely Jews that perished in the Holocaust here. Again, I'm not too up to knowledge. So just walking around the Jewish quarter, of course, in there. And this is a little map to show you the this is the Jewish heritage route. And so you start up here, you come down here. I was over here just now, came up this way like this, but here now, so I'm gonna follow this route past the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's 8 synagogues and I've been here since they moved in. That's migrated here, and they're Jews from all over. In the museum I remember saying that, like, German Jews were the main one, but they came from other Baltic regions as well, but also Russia a little bit, I think. But there was also some Spanish ones, of course Jewish, but of course just like Christianity, of different like subsidiaries as such, different ways of it. So I'm gonna go follow this route, go see a good chunk of this area. And that cemetery I was called the Old Jewish Cemetery that I did pass. There was a new Jewish cemetery. Helen Rubinstein, is it? Cosmetic product, was from Krakow, left in 1980 to move to Australia, and took her grandmother's or mother's concoction of face cream and went on to become a huge success and take over the world, Australia, England, America with it. And I never heard of it before, but I did a bit of research, it's like Harrods and stuff, and it is a big brand. Cool fact, the more you know. I've literally been walking around for the past 2 hours, and my opinion on Krakow has changed vastly. Honestly, during the day, from my experience so far, it's lovely. Not too big really, but you can walk around it and see the sights. It's one of those cities, you can do it in a day, realistically. Maybe a tiny bit more, depends if you had an Auschwitz. If you're doing Krakow, you can probably do it in just a day. It depends how many museums you want to go to, but the museum I went to covered a lot. But then, like, if you wanted to go to Schindler's Factory and the castle and some of the others, you probably do need longer, but it's the same with every city. In the day it's lovely and you can walk around all the old buildings, and I went at night time, you've seen, to the Jewish quarter, but then I've come back up to the old town, and it's probably because I'm a single male on my own. I'm walking past, and every street corner, like, no word of a lie, every street corner, there's someone asking you, come to the strip club. So they'd say it in Polish first, you're like, English, as you do, you're acting all cool. And they're like, oh, friend, I can't do a Polish accent, friend, we come, free entry, free drink. And you're like, oh, I don't drink. And they're like, oh, don't mind, we do soft drinks and coffee and tea. It's like, oh, I can't have coffee at this time, like, tea. And then so they're like, one was offering me tea and titty bar. But honestly, you walk around on every corner, and I'm not gonna lie, the cities I walk around at night that I've done to before, they're lovely to walk around at night. This one Krakow has just changed at night. I'm on my way to the train station, pick up something on the way to get to Auschwitz. I'm a little bit skeptical still. The train gets 8:52 and it's not quite at Auschwitz, it's a little bit away, kilometre, so I have to get a bolt or something they call it here, which is really cheap. The tour starts at 9 though, so yeah, we'll see what happens even if I can get in. Let's go give it a go, nothing to lose, because otherwise I'll just be around here all day. Bought my ticket yesterday, didn't I, for 1:40 on a 6-hour Polish tour at 9. Missed it because I was late for the train and went to the wrong place, but then managed to get back in here, met some friends on the train, South African, Portuguese, but also then speak Dutch, German, and now managed to get on the Dutch tour at 9:45, the German tour at 9:45. It's all a bit of a panic, as you can tell, a bit of a rush, but I'm going into Auschwitz. I'm going to go see the rest of it, and I'm looking forward to it, just to know that this only happened 80 years ago. There's people still alive today who experienced it. Just started the tour, and it's in German, of course, and I'm with Dereck and Dereck's dad. So Dereck's dad speaks German and Portuguese. Dereck speaks Portuguese and English, and I only speak English. So what's happening is Dereck's dad is listening to it, translating it from German to Portuguese, Dereck, and then Dereck translating English for me. But super practical, but you got to make do. We've come on the only time where headsets aren't working, impossible to book English tours pretty much. So we got to make do, and it's just glad to be here. But hour and a half tour now, and then get to see the rest of it, and we'll sort of see what happens. We're at Auschwitz 1 now, as they call it, and probably coming up to one of the most famous, I don't know, say landmarks, the gate that we all know. This camp here alone, there's 8,000 survivors around today still who are still alive, and it's not going to be a very good picture, but this is it. This is the sign. Eerie. I don't think it's really kicked in yet exactly the significance of it all and what it means. There's Jewish communities or schools around that are praying on their way. Get the way of these lot here, and our own circles, and they're praying. But wow, I'll leave you with this, guys, for a second. These are some of the first camps that were here. These are barracks. Used to be former army barracks, for, I think, for the Polish army, something along those lines. Then when Hitler and the Nazi occupation, they brought Polish prisoners of war here. So political figures, lots of Polish, and that's where they housed them all. And they kept them here for a while before it even became a concentration camp as we know it today. And they used to scavenge and used to hunt around the local area to find stuff to fill it up with, to fund it. It wasn't anything like we know it today. It took years for it to become a concentration camp we know it today, but just looking at the pictures and looking at all the buildings, it's crazy to think what this became and what it is actually today still. It's weird. I think this just puts it into realisation of what happened at this exact camp. And I'm just not even going to speak, I'm just going to put it on the board for you to see. Pause it if you need to read it. But just doesn't seem real. This room is labelled Road to Death, and in all the pictures is Jews being brought into Auschwitz, and slowly but surely train pulling in, Jews getting off with their belongings and what they had, all still wearing the Star of David. Unbeknownst to them what's about to happen, I'm sure some of them at this point knew. They would have heard rumours, murmurs about, but a lot of them still had no idea, and to suddenly then be at the front of a queue about what's being chosen there and then, if you're going to survive or die. Little kids as well. And then finally making your way down into Auschwitz. And you can see none of them even knew what was happening. A lot of them brought all their luggage with them, thinking they're going to need it, only for it to not need it. This is called the extermination method. And pictures taken. This is Jewish women being driven towards a gas chamber. During the dead bodies of victims of mass murder, a photograph was taken illegally by a member of the somber command. This is a model of the gas chamber and crematorium tube which worked from March 1943 until November 1944 out of it. The structural drawing of the gas chamber and the further food. Again, it's just weird to think how well put together it was. This wasn't just something that happened overnight. This happened was planned all along. That's all the Zyklon B canisters they used. Pesticide for killing the victims, supposedly as well. Some people died, most people died within a minute, but for others it took up to 10 minutes to die. Going into how systematic it is, this is all the hair of the victims found on the ground of the camps, and behind me there, which will not take pictures, is all the women's hair that was kept. They found, as well as making fabrics out of women's hair at the camp. It just shows you how systematic it was, and this was all planned. It's just weird to think humans, real humans, could do this. You could hate someone so much and want to do this. Living conditions and lined in the barracks of this wall are just multiple people who died, pictures of them, the names, the date they were born and the day they died, occupation. I think when you start looking at it as statistics, then 1 million people died, this many people died. When you start putting faces to it, when you start realising these are human beings, when you realise they had a name, they had a face, they had a story, a birthday, and they had mum, dad. It's when you realise just one of these lives was too many. It was sad enough, let alone the 1.1 million people that died here, and the 6 million that died in the Holocaust. So when you take those statistics away and you realise that each individual person had a name, is when you start to realise how the significance. Just another example of they're going through hell, and they would bring their food, their soup out for them to come and eat, and they would just drop it on the floor for them, on these floors as you can see here, just like this. And they just have to scavenge for soup. And what is soup? Soup's just water. It's just another small thing. I don't know how much more insult to injury you can add to things. It just looking at it down here, excuse the noise, and the way it's designed, just how so systematic it is. The trees perfectly aligned, perfect width between the barracks perfectly aligned, every barrack exactly the same here. Sadistic and systematic. This block 11 that I'm going to show you now is also known as the death block. If you guys want to read this here, I'll let you read it and just pause the video. But you come on through and take those stats. Several thousand people died here, shot at the hands of Nazis. Block 11 here, a block used for a prison. Some of the worst prisoners, some of the heavy duty workers, also known as, and was the first time that Zyklon B was used on prisoners in Auschwitz. Again, I don't know what to expect when I arrived here or what it was, but done a lot of research myself, I know it a lot myself, but it doesn't make it any easier. Now just imagine trying to escape this. Barbed wire, multiple layers, walls, watchtowers, there would have been guards with guns, lights. A living hell, but worse. There was officers who had room here and they could choose a victim that they could take into their own private quarters and rape, and they could kill them there and then, or they could use them again the next day. Doesn't make sense. I was just speaking to Dereck and the others, and it's one of those things that you'll never understand. Never understand, because you'll never be in a position to want to do this to anyone. Here is a room where women were stripped before execution and they're washed. So you knew when you went into that room to wash, to take your clothes off, you were going to die. Now heading into the basement, and like I said earlier, this is the most significant part because the cyclopy was used for the first time in Auschwitz. And it's an eerie place. You can hear the echo of my voice. No light, no natural light. All the cells here. There's many prisoners that just left here to die at the bottom, where they would leave. Prisoners who've been sentenced to death by starvation. It just eerie place. That's Auschwitz 1 done. Need to say no more. But I'm going to get a shuttle bus now over to Auschwitz 2, which of course is Birkenau. Some very, I say iconic, seems rude to say iconic, but buildings that you'd recognise a lot more when you associate to Auschwitz. I've arrived at Auschwitz 2, which of course is Birkenau, and it's vast, it's huge, and it's eerie, and one of the most iconic, one of the most pictures that we all see that stands out the most when the train pulled in to Birkenau, to Auschwitz, and the passengers, the Jews, the prisoners get off, and you see this picture here, the train tracks coming in to the main building, and it's to think they would have got off these tracks here, and from this point over here where we're going to walk to in a minute, they would then be chosen to either be sent to the camp to work for the time being, or straight to the gas chamber to die. I don't think this camera does it any justice, but this place is huge, absolutely vast. Buildings going back, honestly, it must be a mile in that direction. We have all these destroyed buildings over here as well. And just look how vast this walk is down here, the train tracks. I've been saying it the whole time, and you would have heard me and speaking to Dereck about it, but just how systematic it is. It's even this main building here has been designed and built so the train comes directly through. Not just a normal train station where it's on the side. I can't really put into words. There's no feeling to feel the way you feel. I haven't processed it yet. I still can't process it. I don't think I ever will. I'll never make sense of it. I'll never be in that position. But wow, you see it in pictures and films all the time, but to actually be here is a different sense of feeling. To know that by the hands of a very small amount of people, millions of people died. And died is an understatement. Were tortured, lived in hell, awaiting their fate. This is Crematorium 2, the remains of Crematorium 2, which was destroyed at the end of the war by the Germans, and I'll let you read why and read what happened. Trenches you see all the way along here and all the way on the other side would have been filled with bodies, just dead bodies, got off the train and shot straight away, or those who've been shot. This trench of water here, I say very famous, but those who came in by train had been on the train, some of them for days longer, squished into boxcars that I showed you earlier, hungry, poo all over them, wee all over them, no space, nothing, and extremely thirsty. So those who would come out would run over to the water and would drink it straight away, the ones that were very thirsty. However, the Nazis being the Nazis and the systematic approach, the heinous crimes they committed, the water was poisoned. Therefore, as soon as they took a sip, as soon as they bathed, they would die. And in the eyes of the Nazis, that was saving bullets. That means they didn't have to gas them. And it's just another way, I said throughout all of it, the process, how systematic everything was. That was planned, that's evil. They knew Jews would want to come off the trains and drink water, and they were greeted by death straight away. And for those who didn't, of course, they were chosen there and then, whether they survive or work in the camp. It's a dark place. It's a scary place. It doesn't make sense, this place. How vast, how huge it is. I don't think anyone will ever know. But at least we can respect it, at least it's here, so we remember, so it doesn't happen again. This is coming inside to one of the barracks, or the bunkers, or the housing here for those who lived, who were chosen to be at Auschwitz. These are where prisoners would have slept who lived here. They'd have 3 apiece, three, if not more. Some in these grotty situations down here like this. And Every single one was exactly the same. They were no different for anyone. Little stove to keep them warm. It's eerie being in a place like this, knowing this was filled to absolute capacity of men, women and children. No one was safe from this, and know that they would all have the same fate. Ultimately, Auschwitz was a place that everyone came here to die. The sole purpose was to die. There was no one here just to work all the time. Their sole purpose was here to die. And the whole point, the whole name concentration camp comes from is a meaning to say concentrate on your death. And it's eerie. I'm very fortunate to have light shining through now. But to stand in a place where millions have died doesn't feel right. That's Auschwitz 1 and Auschwitz 2 Birkenau done, and wow, there's not much more I need to say really. I've said everything I need to say, but it's a place I could come back to 100 times and never truly grasp the significance of it. This place I actually reckon I would like to come back to one day. But wow, it's phenomenal is the wrong word, it's fascinating. And yeah, got back from Auschwitz and it's a lovely day outside now. It is unbelievable, the weather is gorgeous and it makes the city look so much nicer, and it's warm. I'm still with Dereck, and I never got your dad's name. Silman. So still with Dereck Silman. Made some great friends. And we've come back and they've taken me to the best ribs in Krakow, I've heard. So get some short back ribs with barbecue, and then we might be heading off to go do the Schindler Museum. You know, if you're in Krakow, you've got to do everything you've got to do when you're here. Make the most of it. Doing what I do best, guys. I got a scooter. Never got one of these before, but going to Schindler's factory with Dereck. His dad's gone to bed, so we want to go make the most of time in Krakow. So let's go to Schindler's factory. It's really hard to... It's easier to vlog on a bike for sure, because you don't have to use two hands. Easier to vlog on a bike. I made it very lucky again. Dereck and I turned up. No more tickets, but we managed to creep onto a tour that was available. So we're at tour at Schindler's factory and just started off. Just finished, what's it called? Yeah. Schindler's factory. And we actually had a full guided tour, and that was actually really good. In English? In English, it was really good to actually understand what was said. I think to do Auschwitz and then this and the other stuff I've done, I think I've done a pretty good amount. I've done enough today as well. You're a local. I am pretty much local, just don't speak the language. I'll learn it. But we're going to get on the line by. There's a few bits, tiny more bits like the ghetto wall we can see. Yeah. So we're going to go do that and maybe go around the Jewish quarter a little bit and just see what we can do. See what we get up to. I don't know how much more I'll film. It's bloody hard to film on a bloody line bike. I'm not going to lie to you because you can't do anything. Well, it might be good for views though. Well, whatever, crashing. So from the museum, did a little bit of research, and you can actually come to the former ghetto of Krakow, where all the Jews were put in 1941. Ghetto isn't around a day. It was cleared out within 2 days. From the 13th to the 14th of March, the whole of the ghetto was cleared, and they built a wall around it when it was there, and there's still remnants of the wall here, as you can see. This is what the wall looked like during the ghetto. I'm sure it wasn't foreshadowing, but it sort of foreshadowed. As you can see, the shape of the wall is very much like tombstones. One of the bridges, I believe it's that bridge over there you see in the distance, was a very famous bridge, similar to the one in Newcastle, as they call it, Tyne Bridge, and very famous. Lots of pictures of Jews crossing it when they're told to get to the ghetto from Krakow, and of course had to cross the river. 60,000 Jews lived in Krakow before the war, and it was something only after the war, only 4,000 survived from Krakow after the concentration camps, and many of them never moved back, and to this day now there is only 400 Jews living in Krakow, which is insane And same with whole of Poland, there's hardly any. There used to be 3 million before the war, and there's hardly any more now, which just, I don't know, just seems insane. Still with Dereck, went and got some food in the Jewish quarter, and then went for some drinks at a really nice couple of cocktails, really good cocktail, wasn't it, at this place called Sabza, like a bit of a speakeasy, not quite a speakeasy, but a little bit of a speakeasy. And we're just back in Krakow now, being offered strip clubs and a bit of Charlie. But you saw I had one of these earlier in the vlog. I've got another one, which is a Nutella one. I'm going to do a little food review for you now, guys. Right. Again, it's just a donut, but it's big.
But it's changed your life.
But it has changed my life. It's time to put a little bit of Nutella with it. Do you know what? I thought it'd be the best one, but I'm feeling the Kinder Bueno was a little bit nicer in the middle. That's not proper Nutella. I'd say it's on par with the Kinder Bueno one, but minus maybe 1 point. It's not as nice. So I was about to call it a night because it's getting late. Had a few drinks. Dereck's going. Got to be up early. But we've just happened to come across, obviously, a march that's happening, a Christian march, I believe, or a Catholic march. And you can probably hear it in Krakow. And they're just about to move. But there's hundreds of people. It goes all the way down there. If anyone sees this and knows what it is, let me know in the comments.
Stanąłeś, Panie, nagi przed nami, swoim Kościołem, by pokazać, że nie masz żadnych podejrzanych intencji. Gdzie Bóg król świata całego dokonał życia swojego.
I'm exhausted, very tired, and I'm back in the apartment. It feels like 3 in the morning. It's been a long 2 days. What an amazing day though. Whoa. Auschwitz, Schindler Factory, meeting Dereck, going out, some food with them. But this is the end of the vlog. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna do what you do. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this vlog, something different again, my travel vlog. Comment, most importantly, it's amazing if you could subscribe. It'll go a long way so I can carry on doing this. Thank you for watching, guys, though. I'll see you next time.